When two individuals decide to embark on the journey of marriage, they'd aspire to create a celebration that reflects their unique personalities. Everything from the venue to the music to the wedding cake can serve as a representation of their love for each other, even if it means straying from the conventional norms. In the case of a passionate animal lover from Canada, Carla Rayleigh, finding the one filled her with excitement about getting married. She understood the brevity of life, a lesson learned through a significant setback in her youth. Carla's lifelong love for animals, cultivated from her early days of cherishing pets and petting zoos, led her to dedicate her adult life to rescuing animals in need of care. As her affinity for animals deepened, Carla transitioned to a vegan lifestyle, driven by a commitment to reducing animal cruelty. To her, animals were not just a source of food, but cherished companions. Carla's journey led her into the realm of responsible food and clothing choices, eventually becoming a humane educator and a public speaker to enlighten others about the importance of her cause. It was at an activism event that she crossed paths with Harold Moore, a fellow vegan, united in their protest against the use of fur in fashion. It was a match made in heaven, and their romance blossomed quickly. Together, Carla and Harold established Happy Tales, a farm and sanctuary in Ontario, Canada, dedicated to providing a loving home for rescued farm animals, granting them a chance to lead joyful lives. Life seemed perfect with Happy Tales in operation, bringing happiness to Carla and Harold as they witnessed the animals thrive. However, a tragic event disrupted their idyllic life when Carla was involved in a severe car accident while returning from buying animal feed. Her injuries were significant, and she faced the prospect of lifelong back damage, requiring weeks of bed rest, rendering her unable to tend to the farm. Carla's deep connection with the animals motivated her recovery. She spent hours with her beloved creatures, finding solace and healing in their company. During this time, the family made local headlines for rescuing a Siamese cat with a broken pelvis, who eventually bonded with Carla's newborn baby. After enduring a year filled with both joy and pain, Carla and Harold realized the brevity of life and made the decision to get married. Their wedding was held at Happy Tales, a place that brought them peace, healing, and the opportunity to heal others. On their wedding day, nerves were palpable among the participants. Harold worried about reciting his vows, his son feared tripping, and Carla fretted about whether everyone would enjoy the celebration. However, everything went smoothly until the moment of exchanging vows. As Carla and Harold pledged their eternal love, exchanged rings, and shared a kiss, Carla surprised everyone by dashing away abruptly, leaving her groom at the altar. She raced through one animal enclosure after another, her white wedding dress trailing through the mud. The unexpected turn of events left the guests bewildered. Had Carla changed her mind? Was there an emergency? Was she overwhelmed by emotions? Absolutely not. As it turned out, Carla's top priority was ensuring the well-being and happiness of her beloved animals. She didn't hesitate to check on them and even feed them while dressed in her wedding attire. Fortunately, Harold shared Carla's dedication to their animals and joined her in the feeding. Carla fondly recalled, "We had our honeymoon here. We couldn't think of a better place to share our love for each other. It seems that it was always meant to be." Following their unconventional wedding festivities, the couple shared their first dance as husband and wife, not just with each other, but also in the company of their cherished pets. Their shared love for animals not only brought them together, but continued to fuel the flame of their love. Indeed, a shared passion can unite people across the globe. For example, in Russia, a couple made a similar life-changing decision, although their journey was far from easy. Daria devoted 6 years of her life to the film and TV industry in Moscow, working tirelessly on one production after another. The demanding schedule took its toll on her, leading to exhaustion from grueling 15-hour workdays without breaks for weeks on end. While she took pride in her work, Daria realized she couldn't sustain this lifestyle indefinitely. Determined to make a change, she redirected her visual media talents toward photography. She invested her savings in cameras and master classes, working hard to establish herself in the photography industry. However, complications arose. Daria explained, "I became a photographer because I wanted to reduce the intensity of my life, but ended up in the same place. Once again, I gave myself no breaks, shutting myself away at work, and finding my only joy in producing impressive photos. Even after achieving recognition as one of Moscow's top wedding photographers, success wasn't enough to satisfy her insatiable drive. She came to the realization that she was a workaholic, consistently prioritizing work and creation over relaxation. Reevaluating her all-consuming career, Daria revisited her childhood dreams and desires. She recalled her childhood wish to run a dog shelter, but had never owned a dog herself due to her family's circumstances. Growing up without a father, my mom worked really hard, so I didn't have a dog at the time, she explained. It would have been too much. My mom understood that getting me a dog eventually would have become an additional burden on her. Despite her limitations, Daria did her best to help dogs in need as she grew up and began earning a living. She volunteered, donated, and sought therapy, accommodation, and funding for dogs. Her commitment to canine welfare was evident, even in her limited free time. One day, Daria learned about a one-eyed shelter dog in need of funds to visit an ophthalmologist. She generously donated the money for the dog's treatment and even volunteered to transport the pup to the appointment. Little did she know that this act of kindness would change her life forever. As she sat in the car on the way to the doctor's office with the flea-ridden pup on her lap, she looked at the dog and asked, "Is this a puppy?" That moment marked a turning point. Daria and her husband embarked on a journey of adopting dogs, one after another. By the time they were ready to welcome their seventh dog, they decided to take on a challenging endeavor, adopting a troubled pooch that would have otherwise been euthanized. This particular dog displayed aggressive behavior, engaged in fights with their other dogs, and caused havoc in their apartment daily. It was diagnosed with craniocerebral trauma, a condition that would never improve. Daria faced a tough decision: part with the dog or uproot their lives to accommodate it. Without a moment's hesitation, they took out loans and purchased a countryside home 160 kilometers, 100 miles away from Moscow. There, they rapidly constructed 6 enclosures for the rescue dogs and fully embraced their new life dedicated to the welfare of these animals. I'm aware that there are few people willing to embrace troubled dogs, and even fewer who would relocate to the countryside to provide for them. Yet, we've bid farewell to a comfortable life, and we're perfectly content with that choice. I finally feel like I'm not squandering my life, but spending it with purpose. Life on their remote agricultural land has been far from easy. 4 years after making their rural home, Daria and her husband have only recently gained access to hot water and regular plumbing. Prioritizing their dog's well-being has left little room for human comforts. They've long stopped actively seeking new dogs as people now offer tips or bring dogs to their farm. By March of 2019, the couple had cared for over 100 dogs, and their dedication continued to grow. Daria's journey took an unexpected turn when she met a fellow volunteer who casually mentioned her involvement with foxes. This revelation led Daria to rescue foxes to prevent them from becoming fur coats. And her compassion didn't stop there. She also welcomed a family of injured raccoons into their care. No creature was turned away, but the financial and physical burdens grew heavier with each addition. To manage the increasing number of furry friends, Daria hired 2 employees to assist with daily tasks. This included waking up at the crack of dawn, feeding the animals, maintaining the premises, tending to their health, and much more. With the expenses mounting, Daria had to return to work as a freelance photo retoucher, but without reverting to her workaholic tendencies. Still, there was no budget for personal luxuries, and they found contentment in simplicity. The remaining funds for their furry family came from friends and even strangers who generously contributed supplies and financial support. Daria expressed her gratitude, saying, "I am eternally grateful to them. We don't have any sponsors, and we don't expect any. My guiding principle in living with animals is that they are your responsibility." While at some point, Daria's farm might face the dilemma of stopping intake or rehoming animals, it's not a consideration she wishes to entertain at present. We are not a shelter. We dedicate our lives to our dogs and have no intention of giving them away. It's evident that this artist with a heart of gold has discovered her true calling. She shared, "I'm helping these animals and genuinely enjoying it. I know I can shoulder the responsibility of caring for them, providing space, food, and love."